Hello friends, it is Saturday and it is time for a live stream in my kitchen, Philly. I'm coming to you from Philadelphia and today I'm continuing my fifth in my French series, which is in honor of the Olympics coming up at the end of this month. So wanted to kind of dive into some French recipes to get ready for the Olympics. That's kind of what foodies do, I guess. And also use a cookbook that I hadn't used, even though I've had it for forever, not forever literally, but for such a long time, and had enjoyed Laura Calder's shows on the cooking channel. So I'm Philly, and let me get everything set here. Thank you for joining us. If you're new to my live stream, you can expect mistakes. By no means am I perfect whatsoever. I'm a home cook and I just enjoy connecting with people and food, and I love trying new things. I mean, my hubs and I are definitely what you would call foodies because we love to eat lots of different cuisines all over, but we are focusing on French today. So bonjour, or I might say hola, and je m'appelle Philly, or you could call me Amy. So again, we are making a recipe. This month, my focus is on desserts, or les desserts. See, it's a very similar word, which is always nice in foreign languages when there's something similar. And what I like to do before the live stream is I put a couple choices out for my viewers, my friends on Twitter. You can find me there at Philly Live. And also on Instagram, again, at Philly Live. And I put a poll on my YouTube community page. So you can vote actually at all places if you want to. And after the voting, the one that became the winner is a souffle, a dessert souffle. And the one I'm making today is a passion fruit souffle. So the other runners up, the other ones that were in contention was something called lost bread, which I think threw a lot of people. But really, lost bread is a fancy French toast, or pain perdu, which is how it's also known. And the other one was something called coffee pots, and they were actually pot de creme, but coffee flavored. So today, though, we are most definitely making a souffle. Now, those of you who have followed me, hey, DS, how are you? Can we hear everything, DS? I did a little, my son taught me how to make sure all connections are as they should be. These are live stream issues. I do a little bit of a voice memo right before I go on when everything's hooked up, and as long as I see those lines doing that, I know I'm good to go. Yes, sounds great, wonderful. So as DS knows, because I think you might have even been there for the live stream, I have made a souffle once before. It was voted on when we were doing egg dishes. And I made it was a cheese souffle. I think we used Gruyere, some tarragon, and while the taste was divine, the look was not. It was not my best final product. And isn't that the way cooking is? Sometimes we cook and it tastes good, but it looks not that great. But for souffle, you really want that tada, right? You want that aha. And so one of the things I did, and I'm forgetting his name right now, but I will add it below later. By the way, all this is in the description, the full recipe. There was not a link I could find that attached to this specific recipe from Laura Calder, so I typed everything from her book below so you could see everything that we're going to be doing today. I'm a bit excited, well, for many reasons, but one of the reasons I'm excited is because the dessert souffle is, in its essence, quite simple. I mean, there's a couple of important things, and I'm hoping to make some changes to have a better result, but it's not as complicated as the one we made that was savory. So I was like, this I'm very excited to try. So we'll see if it's as simple as it seems. But what I did not finish saying was I came across a recommendation for a YouTuber. He's a chef, but he also does YouTube. And I believe his name is Jean-Pierre, Chef Jean-Pierre. I will put his link below to his channel. And I heard great things about him, and I saw that he does a souffle video. So the thing with cookbooks is unless there is a lot of details or a video to accompany, sometimes some things can get lost in the translation. So I really wanted to make sure that I watched Chef Jean, I think it's Jean-Pierre, do it so I could see his techniques and replicate those today and have a more successful outcome. So I will be sure and share all those with you. So do not miss a thing. If you've ever wanted to make a souffle, I'm hoping to show you with a few more tips success. So I hope you all say a big little foodie prayer that we have success today. So hi, Eat It. Good luck at your event today. You will be fabulous. I mean, I know Eat It is a great photographer, and I know I love the things, the pictures that you take and what you capture. So you will be amazing. And yes, please tell Ruby I said hi. And Barbara, how are you? It's good to see you. Oh, you have watched his videos too. It's Chef Jean-Pierre. Is that correct? Yes, then. He's funny. What I like about him is he's humorous and fun to watch. So I really enjoyed watching him do a souffle. In fact, what I'll do besides later, I'll not only put, instead of just putting his YouTube channel, I'll put his souffle video because I do think it's a really good one. So I will put that there. But back to Laura. So we are doing something really kind of different, and that is we are making passion fruit souffle. So that put me in a bit of a pickle to start because I really, in the markets that I usually go to, they don't have passion fruit. I was sure somewhere in the city I'd be able to find it. I don't know a lot about passion fruit. And so when I did a search to try to figure out which market I could get it, guess what I found? Let me show you. So we have a place in the city. I know there's others throughout the states. Let me just put this aside so I don't drip anything. Called Sprouts. And this might be in some other stores. I'm going to try to put it so y'all can see it. And so I saw passion fruit chunks. And it came in this pouch and it was frozen. And it says snack size pieces and it's passion fruit. So I actually was like, yay, that's great. I don't even have to get the fruit out. That might be disappointing to some of you, but for me, I love a little hack. I love a little ease, especially with something as haughty as souffle. So, so I took it out of here. Well, actually, first I defrosted it. And I have to tell you, now this is not good if you wanted chunks of passion fruit to eat in a fruit salad, but this was perfect for my recipe. So once I defrosted it, I did it in the fridge. I took it out today because I was going to start pressing and smushing it and getting the juice out. Let me show you what it looked like. So I'm not trying to give shade on this actual person, or not the person, the company that put this together. But when I tell you this is what it looked like, this is what it looked like. So here were these snack size pieces that when they defrosted, they were just liquid. Now, for my purposes, again, I was thrilled. What I did, since that was the case, is then I put it through a strainer to make sure any if there's any stringy fibrous stuff, solids, but that's what I got. So I literally had to do no work. So really love that hack. I don't know if that will happen next time. If that hadn't been the case, I was going to press it through a sieve or kind of whiz it up in my food processor and then press it through a sieve to get the passion fruit juice. So that is one of the things we're going to be using today to flavor our souffle. So yeah, I thought that was a little funny. Again, I lucked out, but I also was like, gee, that's not exactly what I would have expected if I was trying to get these little snack-sized bites of passion fruit. Hey, Chris, how are you? Happy Saturday. Oh, good, wonderful. I love it. I love it. Yeah, he's great. He's great. So before I get started my recipe, I must digress for a second because this past week was Prime Day and I wanted to show a lot of restraint for Prime Day. However, there were a couple things I got that I wanted to share with you. So two of the things I got I was super excited about. One of them is this. This is from Cuisinart and it's a cast iron press. And for me, I want to use it mostly for making smash burgers. Those of you who follow me know that I love a good smash burger, whether it's made with ground beef or ground chicken. And I liked the weight on it. I liked that it wasn't smooth. You actually, I mean, this isn't smooth like my counter is smooth, but there's no little grill marks in there. To make a smash burger, it's better to have that be flat. And I think if I use a piece of parchment and smush it down, it'll go just fine. The other thing I got was one of these little, and it did not include the battery, just one of these little whizzers. That's my term. I'm sure it's not called a whizzer, but it's from Zule, and it was only $5. And I think it was regularly $15. And so it's funny, I used to have one of these because years ago with my kids, we had this, it was like a hot cocoa pot, and you could warm the milk in the microwave, and then it had one of these so you could make it really frothy when you were adding the cocoa. And I gave it away to one of my kids because when we moved to the city, it was just like, oh, like I just don't need a bunch of stuff. And I kind of missed it. So this is great for if you're wanting to make cappuccinos. We have a frother. But, you know, just anything you want to whiz up real quick is nice. And I know there have been times that I've wished I had it. And there's one more thing I've got to show you. And I haven't washed it yet, and I will be using it on this stream. But look at this. I'm super excited about this. I'm not going to bring over everything. I'm going to leave one of the lids over there and one of the handles. So this all came in. And again, we will be making a souffle, but I just had to share. And by the way, I'm not getting any money. I'm just sharing something I'm excited about. This came in this box. This box. So it's by, I don't know how they say their name, Karor, whatever. And what it is, well, I needed some things for my induction little heating element that I have when I do streams. I won't be using it today. We'll talk about that later when it's time to use the stove. But I did need I have some pans that can be used because they need to be magnetized. However, a lot of my pans were from my original wedding day, not my original wedding day. Well, I guess we've renewed our vows, but in any event, they're kind of ready to go. What I loved about this, so that these can be used also in my induction, but they have a nice surface at the bottom to conduct the heat. And I did get nonstick. I don't need to always have nonstick, but that's nice. And so in this, let me show you. Okay, I got it. There's this pot, and you're like, but where's the handle? So it has these handles. Oh, and I just forgot how to use it. I taught myself how to use it, and now I just forgot. Obviously, I've got to get better at this. Wait a second. All right, I was just doing this earlier because I'm like, oh, how does it? Oh, there we go. Okay, so what you do, and I would probably just leave them in this manner because they're much easier to use, is you just put it on there, and then it becomes your lid. And then once you have it on the stove, you take them off. Now, why that's important for me is that when I'm using it on my gas stove, you get a lot of, like, even though you're trying to keep the flame under the burner, you get some other heat, and sometimes even my handles that are supposed to be okay with heat, they get a little hot. So I liked that idea, and I just did this again. Again, I've got to practice on this part. I'll probably just leave them open. But then what's nice is you can use this to clip it back, and then that could also go in the oven. And then you can just take that off. You don't have to worry about this being heat safe. So I loved that. Again, I need to practice a little. So I got not only this, but this is like a pan size, another pot. I forget the size of all these. Then something that I love, it's like a deep pot. So I love that. It's almost like a little mini wok. And then this is, I think, I can't remember, it's like a 10-inch pan. So 10-inch pan, 8-inch pan, something that's kind of like a wok. And then these pot, and I think this was a 4-quart maybe, and this might be 2.5 quart. So and it comes with 2 lids, a lid for your smaller pans and a lid for your larger pans. And also came with these 2 little lids that you can just, once it cools off, put it right in your refrigerator if you have leftovers. So I loved that. I thought this was kind of cool with lots of different options. And again, I'm not getting anything, and I'll let you know how it goes. I'll let you know if I like them. You'll see me using them here on the live stream. But I just needed some, and I didn't want to spend a lot. I know a lot of my foodie friends spend a lot of money on their cookware. I have a hard time doing that. Like, I don't, I've gotten some really good Lodge cast iron pans, and I have a good Lodge, Dutch oven. And initially when we got married, so they're all detachable. So this kind of is the little thing that goes with it. And you can get in different colors, but by the way, I got it in black because I read with some of the lighter colors, it shows the stains. And I know my Lodge Dutch ovens shows a little bit of stains too, which it doesn't bother me, but like if you're getting light and then it's just getting stained, it kind of doesn't make me so happy. So yeah, so I got the dark color, but yeah, I kind of treated myself. And I feel like for all of that, it was maybe 60 bucks or something. I forget what it was regularly. So we'll see how it lasts and I'll let you know, and you'll get to see me use it and see if I'm happy with it. But I felt like it was not a big, investment to try something new, especially something that I can use with my induction. So back to the souffle, because that's why we're here. All right, so let me talk to you a little bit about what we need to do first. So one thing we have to do is we need to prep these. Now, I don't know if we're really going to be filling 6 of these. She says we are. We shall see. So I'm just going to get them all prepped, though. Let me wash my hands, and let me check the chat. To prep these, we're going to need to put butter inside them and sugar, and that will help and aid in the rising. And we're going to get started. Let me see anything else. I think everyone... Fun toys, yes. And Edith has a similar frother. Pots. Yes, absolutely. So I didn't know if anyone else found anything really great at Prime Day. So if you found some great purchases, let us know down in the chat. And by the way, if you're just with me, we are not here to talk about Prime Day. We're here to make souffle, some passion fruit souffle. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get these prepped. So what I have here to make it easy, and this was a little tip I got from Chef Jean-Pierre, was I love the way he buttered these little, okay, I'm lost of words, but that's the age I am. But these ramekins, oh my goodness. So what he did was in another dish, he took some butter, we'll just kind of guesstimate, and then I'll keep this here in case we need any more. And then he had something just like this, which is just a silicone baster, but a small one. And then what he did was he kind of smushed the butter all in a dish, and then he took that and he did it inside. And so I was like, oh, that's a great way. So I think I used a paper towel. I'm always looking for another tip to help me use less paper towels. I know that's most of our aim. You don't want to be stingy with the butter. So we're just going to get these all buttered inside, and I'll show you kind of what that looks like. So you see, I'm getting all up to the edge with my little baster, and it's super easy. So I thought that was a great tip. So thank you, Chef, for that. So that we have 2 down, 4 to go. By the way, is anybody watching the bear? We are not done with the season, but wow, I can always count on it to be intense. And it is intense, but I absolutely love the characters. It's funny, the other thing I've realized, watching the bear is I would never want to be a chef in one of those like highbrow restaurants. That just looked so intense. And it also gave me a new appreciation when I dine at any of those, haute cuisine restaurants, of all that goes into it. In fact, Tubbs and I were even talking about that. When you think about these dishes that come out, and there's so many components, and each of those components have to be prepped, and sauces made. I mean, there's just so much to it, even if you're not spending the kind of money that they were spending there. But I love bear. I love watching foodie shows like that. And Hubs enjoys it, so. All right, we're 4 down. We just have 2 more, and I think actually we got just the right amount of butter. There we go. So this enables our soufflés to not stick, which we don't want them to do, of course. We don't want them to get too comfy in here. We want them to want to release and go into our bellies. And we also want that rise. So a couple of the things that I learned watching Chef Jean-Pierre is I need to beat my egg whites enough, but not too much. And I was really worried about the not too much the last time. And I really feel like I went way not too much. And I think that's why I didn't have the rise that I was hoping for. But now after watching Chef Jean-Pierre, he gave a great tip on how to know when you have beat it just enough. So I will be sharing that. All right, so I'm going to get every last bit of butter so that this last ramekin is buttered enough. I might even take just a smidge more. There we go, put that on our knife there. Ah, much better. Again, don't be stingy on this part. It's just butter. And frankly, these are desserts, so these are meant to be a little bit splurgy. All right, so they have been buttered. Let me put this away. By the way, Hubs will not be here today. He is away. He is visiting some of his high school buddies and yeah, enjoying some guy time away. By the way, our best tip for, we have 2 tips for long and happy marriages. One of them is, actually, I think they both are. Well, one of them is spending time apart as well as together, meaning it's important, I think, to be with, it's important for him to be with the guys, it's important for me to be with my friends. Oh, and the other tip, I was like, what's the other tip? We were just talking about this the other day. The other tip is don't stop dating. Don't stop dating. So even when our kids were small, we would find neighbors, my sister, and we would pay. Sometimes we paid as much for the babysitter as the meal out because we did not have that much money, but just to get away. So that's my tip. Don't stop dating and spend time away, which sounds kind of counterintuitive, but I feel like the time away makes me a better wife. Now, all you're going to do for this step is you're going to put some sugar in here. So I just put sugar in there. This is just white sugar. And then I'm just going to turn it sideways into one of the other ramekins because I want sugar to go all around. There we go. And then you tap. And then we're going to take this one and we're going to turn it into the other ramekins. So we're letting it pour into the other ramekin. If you need more sugar, you can obviously get more, but we'll take this as long as we can go. And then you tap. There you go. So easy peasy, right? So who has made a souffle before? I don't know if I asked that the last time. And by the way, if you're just joining us, we are making passion fruit soufflés today. And they will not cook they don't take that long to cook. I think she said it was about 10 minutes, so we shall see. But they'll be done when they're done, but they won't be cooking for a super long time. I'm just gonna add a bit more sugar. And while they're cooking, we'll work on the passion fruit sauce. So what I love is that not only is passion fruit going into the souffle, but we're also gonna make a yummy sauce that we can kind of drizzle in, kind of cut it open, drizzle it in to make it super delicious. So Hubs is going to be missing the big ta-da today, but I'm sure he'll watch the video and he'll have some leftovers when he returns tomorrow. There we go. All right, so again, I'm turning the ramekins around just to get sugar on all the sides. And then since this is the last one, I'm just going to do it back into one of the other ones and then I'll get rid of that sugar. So it's super easy. So by the way, if you're ever cooking with any children, that might be something fun that they could do. All right, so we just have a little bit of sugar left. I'm just going to dump that, and our ramekins are ready. So how easy is that? Oopsie. There we go. So I'm going to put these aside so we can work on the egg part, which is the most important part. Let me put this away. Oh, goodness. Okay, so I'm going to, let's see here. We have some people chatting. DS says he has not watched season 2 yet. They're both really good. Although the first episode of season 2 is intense, and just buckle your seatbelts. But it's an amazing performance, and you probably heard Jamie Lee Curtis is in that one, and it's an incredible performance. Season 2 was great. Really enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing them transform and getting ready to become this more highbrow restaurant, which is what he was hoping for. And it's a grueling business, long hours, standing on your feet for hours. You work on weekends and more. The pay has gotten so much better in the past 6 years. Well, that's good to know. They deserve all that pay, my goodness. And DS says, I've been with Ruby for over 14 years and I fall in love with her all over again every day. Oh my goodness, that warms my heart. That's awesome. And please, wishing all my best to Ruby. Hubs and I we just celebrated 29 years and we met on a blind date. How about that? So that can work too. Let's see. And Barb's has made souffle. Barb, what do you like putting in your souffle? Like, do you like it to be sweet or savory? And is it just a vanilla sweet souffle, or do you do any fruits? And we'll talk more about the fruits with this passion fruit one. And Chris says, I don't bake. Looks like I might be baking. Oh, and you answered the question already, Barbara. See, I'm going through there. So Barbara said, thanks for asking the question, DS. Barbara said vanilla souffle, broccoli souffle, chocolate souffle, and a cheese souffle. Wonderful. And eat it. We've got to get you with some souffle. I'm telling you, it is decadent and it is delicious. Not when I say decadent, by the way, not decadent like so heavy. It just is such a taste, in my opinion, such a tasting experience. And yes, hi Ruby. And DS says likes a delicious cheese souffle, and Barb says she likes both sweet and savory. So let's get our eggs ready. So the first thing we're going to need to do, let me bring over our eggs, is we need to separate them. And I'm going to refer to our recipe because within a recipe like this, you do want to make sure you have everything right. And it's not like I, sat down and memorized everything. So we are going to be using 4 eggs. We're going to separate them. We only need 2 of the egg yolks, but we do need 4 of the egg whites. So that's where we're going to go. So let me close that up. So first thing we're going to do is separate my eggs, my egg yolks from my egg whites. I'm going to put 2 here so that I can put them away in the fridge, and then 2 here that we're going to be using. Now, to make what I like to do, I'm really, it's great that the first egg yolk is really barely on there. Nothing like getting right into it right at the beginning. Okay, so I like to crack my egg and try to form a bit of a cup, and this egg, oh my goodness, this one is not really working well. I'm worried I'm going to have an egg malfunction. And then I just kind of keep putting the yolk into the other one until most of the egg white goes away. Oh my gosh. So what I should be doing, so there's our 2 egg yolks that are going to go in the fridge. I'm going to put the other 2 egg yolks in my bowl. I'm actually playing with fire right now, if I'm being totally honest, because, well, I'm not going to mention it until after I'm done, and I'll explain. Okay. This is a little better one. This one just split better in half. Okay, so then you just keep kind of tossing gently that egg yolk over, dipping some of that egg white out until you get most of it out. There we go. So there's 1. So we have 2. We have 1 more left. We have 2 there, 1 there. That's 3. Here's our 4th. Oh my goodness. Come on. So you do want to do this carefully, and if you want it to be most careful, you want it to be most careful. Oh my goodness. Phew! If you want to be most careful, you would do this over a bowl each time. So in case you had a catastrophe, which would just mean the egg yolk getting into the egg white, you wouldn't ruin the whole bit of egg whites. I was a little risky doing it. This is not my first rodeo, but I fully admit that that's a bit of a catastrophe, especially in a live stream. So I have my 4 egg yolks. I have my 2 egg whites. I have the 2 extras that I'm going to set aside, and I'm thinking, ooh, something like carbonara-ish. That would be really yummy with that. So we'll have to see what Philly comes up with. Or I can make those Mayak eggs where you cure them. That's maybe what I'm going to do with those. All right, I digress. We don't need this anymore. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get these mixed with some sugar, and then we're going to be adding some passion fruit to this. So let me get my measurements here. Back to Laura, and I marked it here so we could see. I'm going to actually put this here. So DS was saying a chef today can make anywhere from 80,000 to 250. Wait, yes, 80,000 to 250,000, depending on the kind of restaurant. A line cook can make 20 to 30 an hour. Gotcha. Thank you for sharing that, DS. I appreciate that. So we have our yolks out. We're going to beat them with 2 tablespoons of sugar until pale and thick. And then we are going to whisk in a 1/4 cup of the passion fruit juice. So here's our passion fruit juice. And I'm going to get a 1/4 cup there and 2 tablespoons. So we do need our sugar. I should not have put my sugar away yet. All right. I need my tablespoon. So 2 tablespoons of sugar. So 1, 2, until they're pale yellow. Oh, let me put this here. It's funny, I really was hoping today was going to be utterly gorgeous, but the, okay, use this one. But the humidity is present, so it's not as nice as I thought it was going to be. So then we're just going to take a whisk them together. And what she was saying to look for is it to be pale and thick. So whisking them together. This is where you get to burn your calories while you're cooking. And once we get this a little bit more pale, then we're going to be adding a 1/4 cup of the passion fruit juice. Wow, it's getting a beautiful color. It's actually quite lovely. Now I also have farm fresh eggs, so those tend to have orange yolks. So your pail might be paler than mine depending upon where you get your eggs. And then we need a 1/4 cup. So let's see here, that's 4 ounces. Let me get that. Let me just stir that in case it kind of settled a bit. There we go. So 4 ounces, we're going to pour that in. Let me see, do the eye trick just to make sure. Yep, 4 ounces, that's a 1/4. I don't want 4 ounces. Oh my goodness, you all, it's amazing you come watch me and you see me almost make mistakes. It's 2 ounces, 2 ounces, a 1/4 cup. Do you remember the last time when I was making those burgers, the chicken burgers? I almost like poured a 1/2 cup of, what was it? The ponzu sauce into like 10 ounces of meat, which would have made very soupy meat. So apparently this thing has been cursed now because it's almost making me ruin some things. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this to our egg yolks, just a 1/4 cup. There we go. Oh my gosh. I think I was thinking because it was 4 ounces, I was thinking like 4. Oh, terrifying. All right, so there we have our liquid. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to put this aside because we'll need this later to make it into a syrup. Now what we're going to do, and I'm going to get a little rubber thing for underneath here, is we're going to get these eggs whipped up. So I'm going to put this down to help this stay steady. And instead of using my big guns, I'm actually going to use this because one of the things that Chef Jean-Pierre did, and I lost my little whisk, one of the things Chef Jean-Pierre did was, let me get that all wiped off, is he got it kind of like maybe 3/4 of the way there with a blender, and then he finished the rest with a whisk. And there was a reason. The reason was because it would help you see when to stop and how stiff you really want those peaks to be, which is not completely stiff. And that's what I had trouble with the last time, was understanding where that was in this whole procedure. So I'm going to get a whisk so that I can continue another whisk, because I don't want that one in there because that will make them deflate. So what I'm going to do next, get this turned on. This is not my favorite. This is something I need to get a different one of because it's not that great. But I'm going to just get this. And I'm looking for them to be, like I said, 3/4 of the way there. So this is not going to be pleasant sound. Get this going, get a little sip of water. You know what? I'm going to actually bring the camera a little closer because I think this part is a little more pivotal, and I want to make sure everyone can see what this looks like. And this is when, and also at this point we're going to be, let me move that back a little bit. Let me just get a little bit closer. There we go. Because I want to make sure you can see what's happening with the egg whites, especially once I start whisking them, as well as once I put them into the ramekins, and show you some tips he taught me. Bye, Edith. Thank you. Enjoy, and you'll be great. Go get them. So you can see they're getting whipped. But the bubbles aren't small enough. There's too many big bubbles. Okay. Now at this point, I'm going to stop, and I want to add 4 tablespoons of sugar into here. So let me get my sugar again. We added 2 tablespoons to the yolks, and we're going to add 4 tablespoons here. 1, 2, 3. Seems like a lot. 4. But I will say these do whip up, and also the passion fruit has a little bit of tartness. In fact, one of the fruits you can use instead of passion fruit is you could use raspberries. Really, you could use any fruit. So let's get that going. Okay, the bubbles are getting smaller. Let's see how we're doing. So if I see I should start doing my own, nope, I'm going to do a little more still. I want to get them a little further before I do with my whisk. Okay, let's see how we're doing. Yes, okay, so it's a little undone, a little not ready, which I know sounds a little weird, but just trust me, at least this is according to Jean-Pierre. Now I will, for full transparency, in Laura Calder's recipe, she does say beat it to a stiff meringue. So, but he talked about the specifics of the stiffness, which sounds like we're getting in the weeds, but I appreciated the detail. So now, what I want to do is, so you see how do you see how it just drips down? We don't want it to be so stiff that the peak is up there. You want it to be where just the tip dips, so to speak. So now, I'm going to do my arm workout. Losing a little bit of meringue. And now I'm kind of regretting this decision because this is a bigger arm workout than I was expecting. So still. Using my other hand. Oh my goodness. Who says cooking doesn't burn calories? Okay. Okay, I think we're close because see how just the tip is dipping? Just do a little bit more. Ah. Yep. Okay, I think we're just about there. Let me just do a little bit more. The last time I don't feel like I beat it enough, and I just want to make sure that I do. I think we're about there. What do you think, Diaz? What do you think, Barb? Does that look? Or should I do it a little more? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? It really is exhausting, not gonna lie. I see why I use my mixer. Yeah, I think that is really what I talked about. Was about the tip. I'm just not sure if the tip is enough. What do y'all think? Oh, you all went silent on me. If you're just joining, we are making soufflés. Yeah, I think that's good. That's like what it was showing. Just the tip is dipping. Run it. Johnny, what do you mean? So when the Jean-Pierre was talking about how just the tip is going to, that this part is stiff, but the tip is not, it's not. See? Yeah. I'm going to try it. What the heck? And I also want to taste it. Yum. I love meringue. I could just eat meringue. All right, so now what we're going to be doing is we need to go from these beaten egg whites that we've, worked so hard at, and this liquid that has the passion fruit juice and our egg yolks mixed with sugar. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some of this to our egg yolks, and we're going to mix them in to lighten up our mixture. So you can see what I did there. And it's adding a little bit of air into this mixture. You can see, kind of help lighten it up. And then we're going to take this and add it into here. And then we're going to fold that term, that iconic term. So you're just going to run around the sides and you're going to incorporate. Incorporate, that's a new word. We're going to incorporate. And I'll tell you, when Chef Jean-Pierre is doing it, he does it so expertly. And he talks about, that not everything needs to be perfect. And when you're watching him, you're kind of like, but how do you know? So this looks good. There's still a few streaks, but I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. All right, so there we go. So now what we're going to do is we got to move fast and get this into our ramekins so we can get them into the oven. So let's bring our ramekins back over. And we are going to get a spoon. I think this one might serve well. And I'm going to be spooning our souffle. And how he suggested doing it, he got them quite full. So I don't know if I'm going to fill it up with 6 because, I don't want to have extra, but I do want it quite full. And we're going to be smoothing the tops. I'll show you what he showed, what he did. I'm going to try his method. Okay. And again, we're going to move quite quick because these eggs will begin to deflate. And I think we're just going to get 4 out of this. So let me just see. Let me use my little offset spatula, one of my favorite tools. And we're going to just smooth the edge at the top. So let me show you what he showed. So he showed that you smooth it around so that it goes edge to edge. And then we're going to clean up the edges to ensure a good rise. So he just wanted it smoothed across. There we go. go. Just trying to smooth it across and add some holes if I need to. There we go. Okay. So I think because again, I'm just trying to mimic what he did to get these amazing soufflés. And we're going to be cleaning up the edges too, so do not despair. Yeah, I'm going to stick with 4. I'm going to get this last little bit of stuff out here. So I make sure. Oh, is it tasty? Oh, it's similar in flavor to me to a mango, this passion fruit, kind of similar. So if you love mango, and mango would be great with this too. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to move these away. I'm going to take my finger, and first I want to get the outside. Rinse. And then you want to go just a little bit on the inside. Just a little bit on the rim there, he shows. See that? You want to get a little bit on the rim. So that's what we're going to do with each of them. So first on the outside, this one got really messy. Okay. Take that extra off because we do want it to look nice. And now we're going to go on the inside, just a little bit. Just to get that cleaned off there. Okay. And then 2 more outside. I'm going to do outside with this one, and then we'll rinse and come to the inside for both of these. There we go. All right, now just a little bit on the inside there. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to use my other finger. There we go. All right, I'm going to taste it. Oh, they are yummy. Okay, so let's get them in. We have a preheated oven, 425. Chef Jean-Pierre actually chooses 400, but I'm going to stick with Laura on this just because it is her cookbook, and she does have them getting done faster. So she says about 10 minutes, so let's get these in. So let me show y'all first. See, these are ready to go in. Oh my goodness. All right. And also, he did not use a water bath when I did him the last time. First of all, it's not going to be bad to use a water bath, but he did not use a water bath, and that can also intimidate people. So I decided, let me move you all back a little bit. There we go. So I decided not to this time just because I wanted, honestly, with cooking, my biggest hope is to make cooking approachable for everybody, for you not to take yourselves. And I say this to me as I'm mentioning to, by the way, we got to have this. Oh my goodness. If the end result tastes half as good as what this batter, so to speak, tastes, absolute deliciousness. Oh, that's right. Let me get this. Just bear with me for a minute while I enjoy a little bit of the fruits of my labor. Look at that. Holy cow. Let me get a little spatula. I think I'll just kind of snack on this while I'm waiting. That is so good. We don't need these. We'll get those washed. Oh, I forgot to set the timer. Whoop. You can't trust me, right? Wow. All right. So I just put it in for 9 minutes because she said, let's see here. And she talks about actually putting the finger around the inside lip. Bake until they puffed up high and turn golden on top, about 10 minutes. So while they're going, while I'm snacking on our batter, so to speak, what we are going to do is we're going to make this passion fruit sauce that is going to get spooned over top and add to the passion fruit flavor. So to do that, I'm going to put not all of this. I think she recommended, let me see here, the remainder. So I think it's like a half cup. Let me just take a peek, friends. 3/4 cup. Yeah, so 1/2 cup of the passion fruit juice. So I'm just going to get a little old-fashioned Revere-ware container. This used to be my mom's, and it just is such a great size because it's nice and tiny, and sometimes you need a tiny little pan. So I'm going to put in here a 1/2 cup, and I'll measure it. Let's see how many dishes I can use, right? Okay, so this time we do want a 1/2 cup. We do want 4 ounces, not like the other scare. All right, so 1/2 cup. And then it's to taste. So you're going to be adding enough confectioner's sugar to taste to make it the sweetness you want. So I'm going to kind of check that right now. Let's see. I would like there to be a little tartness, like not tartness, that's probably the wrong word. I'd like there to be a little bit of, I don't want it to be cloyingly sweet. Let me see. Oh, that's still tart. Okay, I'm going to get this going, and this is going to reduce, and I'm going to check it as it cooks. So I'm going to get that on. I want it to reduce till it's syrupy. So, and I'm going to keep this nearby. We're also going to use this. This is one of my favorite little tools. It's a sifter. You just put confectioner's sugar inside, and it has the mesh, and so you can make anything look fancy. Super easy. It's got a lovely lid that it can go on when you're not using it. So, yes, so keep this over here. We're going to let that go and put our rest of our passion fruit juice over here. I was thinking, because you know I'm always thinking of a good cocktail, a passion fruit Bellini might be nice. That might be very lovely. I know, right? See, yes, we're on the same page. What else would you do with it? I think maybe a passion fruit margarita. That would be nice. Y'all, this is so good, honestly, because I love meringue, and I cannot wait to taste them when they're done because this itself is so yummy. Okay, I'm done. I'm so sorry. I would share, but all the miles right between us, it just makes it a little tricky. Okay, I certainly do miss Hubs doing all the dishes for me. In fact, just to be real with y'all, I ran the dishwasher last night, and it has not been unloaded yet. Does anyone else have a dishwasher that hasn't been unloaded yet? I laugh because he is my dish guy, and he's also so much better about I'm a bit of a procrastinator, and he's so much better about not putting stuff like that off. And I ran it after dinner last night, and I thought, you know what? If Hubs was here, he would actually empty it before we went to bed. And when it was time for me to go to bed, I was like, I don't feel like emptying it. So where do you fall? Are you on the get her done right away, don't delay, or are you the I could procrastinate with the best of us? So I just would love to know. Neither one's right or wrong. It is what we are what we are. But he is a good influence on me with that. Just going to check my sauce, and I'll bring you around to show. So I'm just going to put it on, my aim is to have it kind of around medium because I do want it to reduce. Right now I have it on medium high because I want it bubbling. I want it to become more syrupy, and we can let that happen while our soufflés are cooking. There we go. Oh, come on, y'all gotta tell me. Yes, I wish I could give you a taste. Yes, I would totally send this out to you. So, oh, thank you, Barbara. So Barbara said, let me see here. So DS says, I don't know what Jean said. However, I always do stiff peaks. So what he said was what I just tried to replicate, that he wants it, because I have made meringues. I actually like making those little meringue cookies. It's nice because for my sister, they're gluten-free. They're just naturally gluten-free. And when I make those, I want it quite stiff. So when I take out the beater, it stands stiff. And she did mention that here. What was interesting, what Jean-Pierre said was, instead of being stand-up stiff, he likes, and this could be chef to chef, right? He likes just a little bit of droop at the tip, not the main part, but at the tip. So who knows? We shall see, right? We'll see if I get the lift that I'm hoping for. And frankly, if I don't get the lift, the next time I'm going stiff. I'll have a stiff drink and a stiff souffle. Just teasing. And then what did Barb say? So she said, oh, Chris, that's a racing term. I did not know that. Barb said, when I make meringue, I add a few tablespoons of sugar, but that's usually for pie. Yes. Yes, so this one we did add some sugar. But I know from making meringue for pie that it's usually, at least how I do it, I usually add the sugar after it's a little bit beaten. I just think it helps not just like load at the bottom. It helps it, in my opinion, kind of come through and dissolve well. And Barb says, when I beat eggs for souffle, they're a little stiffer. But I think what you're saying is this is the way it should be. Well, I don't know that's the way it should be. I'm just saying it's the way Jean-Pierre suggested. So we shall see if I get a good sky rise on my souffle. And Chris said it means good to go. Stiff peaks, good to go. Interesting. Oh, I can really confuse Hubs with that one. He can be like, are y'all done? I'll be stiff peaks. He's going to look at me funny. Oh, my goodness. And Barb unloads every morning. Yes, it is rising. Thank you. Oh, my gosh. Let's take you all over. And let's check on that. Let's check on our other thing, too. Yes, you are so oh, my goodness. And I have a little burnage going. So don't do what I did. So I have a little burnage on the end. You see that? I think because I should have done this actually in a regular pan. I think, see this burnage that's right here? This is my smallest flame I have, but I think it's just kind of going around. So that'll come off with soaking. Let's see here. It's really not syrupy, so I'm gonna let that go. I'll keep it at medium though, so it doesn't hopefully burn so much more. So let's take a look at the rest. All right, look. Wow, they're really brown on top though. Holy moly. I mean, I know they're supposed to be brown on top, but that's a little browner than I would like, if I'm totally honest. How much time do you have left? We only have like a minute left. Wowza, those are brown. So it almost looks burnt to me, I'm not gonna lie, but they are almost done. And our sauce isn't ready. I think our sauce is just gonna have to be ready. So let me get y'all back, and I think what I might do is I might just turn off the heat. They definitely rose. Or I'm going to turn down the heat just a little bit, temperature. And maybe I would do 400 next time. Whoopsie. No. 1 second. Okay. Here we go. All right, let me check our sauce. It's getting a little syrupy, but just hasn't done much. Let me taste it. Okay, oh, that is tart. 10 minutes is up, so we're gonna turn that out. They are getting big, very excited about that. I definitely want to add more sugar. It was a little tart. You see? So the only thing about this is it's kind of condensing at the top. Let's see. Okay, that isn't working. So we're going to just open this. My goodness, what a mess. Oh! There we go. Sorry about that. My this was not working well. It was getting too. Yeah, that is quite tart. Okay, just add a little bit more of that. I was trying to make it not too sweet, but oh goodness, I know all this happens in a quick wink. Oh, they are getting big, okay. So if I did it again, I would definitely use the lower heat, and maybe it's just my oven. Okay, that's better. But let me show you, big reveal, big reveal. And then I also, let me see here. I also want to get that one tool to get them off. Okay. And on here. So this is all going to happen quite quick. All right, y'all ready? Let's see. Turn the oven off. Wow. So they got a little toasty on top. So, you know, I think it just shows the third time's the charm. But look at the height. So the height is good. They are super toasty on top, a little more toasty than I would like. And this is piping hot. And I know I gotta move fast, but holy moly, is that hot. Let's just put this here. All right, get them transferred really quick. And they're already going down, like friends. It is amazing how quickly these go down. I mean, wow. And I'm gonna put this one over here. This is the one we're gonna be trying. Moving at warp speed. Now the good thing is my sugar will help cover some of the toastiness. So that's good. So let's, there we go. All right, look here, friends. Look at that. What do you think? What do you think? Look at that. All right. Okay, so I'm going to bring you over to show this one because I don't have Hub's camera. So I want to get a quick shot. Here's a little floor look. There we go, friends. There we go. There it is. There it is. Okay, let's show you. Let's show you these other ones again. Look at that. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. All right. Just admiring. They definitely went higher this time. So now quickly, I'm going to put my sauce. I was going to put it in a cute little dish, but we don't have time. So instead, I'm going to get it in here quite quick. My spoon. So one of the first things we can do is we can take this and open it up right in the middle, just like that. So let me show you how that looks in there. Look at that. And then in there, I'm going to add this sauce right in the middle. Right in the middle. There we go. Oh my goodness. Now this is going to be piping hot. So let's try. And hopefully I won't burn my mouth. Let me just show you. Look at that. So Barbara, do yours get as toasty as this? Let's taste. It is light, pillowy. It is air, but the sweetness with the custard and the passion fruit, and then having the syrup be a little bit more tart is a great counterbalance. If you wanted to embrace the sweet, you could always add a creme anglaise to this. That'd be delicious. You know what I also love? I love that, you know how we put sugar around the edges? I love how when we did that, I actually get that texture too. I kind of get a little crunch on the outside pieces, but it's super pleasant. It's not like a crunch of a shell. It's just that, you know, sugar texture, which is wonderful. Well, I can't say it was perfect, but this was so much better. So I think the big key is to beat longer. I'm just not sure of the temperature. I mean, the color reminds me a little bit of a Basque cheesecake, which gets quite brown. Right, Matt? Oh, you would love these, Matt. They are delicious. And you could just make them vanilla, you can make them chocolate, you can make them coffee. Oh my gosh, so good. Yes, I think I would do 400. And Chris said the same thing. Oh, you guys all gave me good tips. You guys are the best. Thank you. So I'm going to stick with Chef Jean-Pierre with the 400 temperature. Again, it kind of almost gives me that Basque feeling. In fact, Matt, he is obsessed with the Basque style cheesecake. So you know what I'm talking about with that. But they are so good. They are delicious. And what's better yet, so here's my reflection. We got a little fancy with passion fruit. But you could just do chocolate or vanilla. And what I learned was that the prep for it actually is not that much, especially when you're not worrying about a juice. Now the juice in there is lovely and fine, but you know, I know Chef Jean-Pierre makes a Grand Marnier one, so if you're really wanting to do this and give a ta-da for some people that you're having over for dinner, my advice would be keep it simple. Just have it be a few ingredients, have some creme anglaise, which a little hack for creme anglaise is if you get a good quality of vanilla ice cream like Haagen-Dazs, or you know, like my favorite is, oh my goodness, and I'm forgetting them. They're in Cincinnati. Goodness gracious. You know what? I'm telling you, this part of life right now, it just escaped out of me. It'll come to me. But it's an ice cream that is famous in Cincinnati and has great chip flavors, and it's just escaped, but I digress. You can just melt a really good high quality ice cream, keep it in the fridge, and that makes this basically a creme anglaise. So you can, it's not even like something else you have to make. So there's a lot of different hacks that make this very approachable to having with guests in our house. So friends, I hope you have a wonderful Saturday, and thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Eat It, earlier for being with us. Thank you, DS and Chris and Barb and Archie. Oh, Archie, hey. Oh, thank you, Archie. Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Lovely, lovely, magnifique. I know, he doesn't know what he's missing. For sure, for sure. Oh, wonderful. So everyone have a great week. And next coming up is going to be a try or buy from a French, we're like on the French theme, from a French, not inspired, but a French leaning sandwich shop that one of our top chefs always recommends. So Hubs and I are going to be trying it for try or buy next weekend, Saturday for lunch. And until we eat again, au revoir, friends. Au revoir, mes amis.